Hello guys of 3D Code Academy. Welcome back in our teaching session of 3D in a Blender. In this part 2 series, we'll deep dive into the weight painting or skinning in a Blender. In the last tutorial, we started working with this part right here, and we did some partial weight painting. But today we are going to fix all the weight painting issues and clean things up properly. So get your mind ready. Let's learn together. And I'll start by turning on the screen keys so you can follow along with me. And lastly, we rig with the automatic weighting. Yeah, using automatic weight is quick, but it's not always clean, especially if you aim to work like a pro. That's why I'll show you how to do a manual weight painting the right way. So let's start by unpaleting the mesh and clearing the existing weights. So first I will go back in our object mode and I'll select this mesh. I'll add P to clear the appearance and go for this, and we'll remove all these groups there. So we'll delete all groups there, and I will select the bad mesh and go to the modifier and delete that armature. That's armature are the ones that's binding the mesh to that bones. And after doing the cleaning of those weights, the next step is to bind that mesh to that armature with empty groups. So now, let's bind again this mesh to that armature. Okay, we are going for Ctrl P. We first select the body and next select the armature and we Ctrl P. And we go for the armature deformer but with empty groups. So we are doing with empty groups. Okay, after binding, so let's go to the weight tab and see how our bones perform with the weights we created. Whenever I select bones with the Alt and select the bones, it's direct to our weights groups but has no weights on it. So in order to assign the weights, I will give you my way of doing that. First of all, let's go to our tool tab for these weights and try to give a settings there. So I'll go to paintings. I always like to use mix. There are a couple of blending modes. We either add or we subtract the weight. So I'll use add or subtract. But yeah, you can also use for mix. And the mix is the way I use always. I like to use mix for precise adding of weights. I can show you later how to use add and how we can use mix or subtract with using mix. Here we see we have a couple of tools in our disposal for the users. This is brush we use to draw and paint weights. This is a blur. We can feathering our transition of weights between two bones. This is average. It's like we're using a blur, but we can keep average for the weights between bones. Smear is the way you can transfer the weights smoothly. And the sample weight is the way to sample the weights and painting the weights. Okay, I always like to use that. And this is a gradient weight. My way of doing, I always add the weights to all bones, whereas this, with the using of gradual, I will use this and I will show you a couple of things and tricks I use. Okay, with this auto normalize puts on. It means when the body has much influence and when you add weight to this, we'll subtract it to that bones. That's the way of using auto normalize. You will see. So for this body, we see that in last it was not symmetrical. So I'll switch off the symmetry mode. So we'll paint the weights to each bones. Okay. That's the tricks for my tools here. And I'll go this to the draw brush, then we can add the weights. For my draw brush, let's fix this. You see this, when you select the sphere, this is on sphere. Whenever I paint this, I'll select this bone. This bone has already have influence. So I'll select this bone here. Whenever I paint, you see that it's not passed to other side. So in order to pass to other side, we need to project that. So we select the projection of this. So I will start with this spine tool and try to add the weights. I increase the size of my brush so I can add now. I'll wait. Let's try to see on the other side. It's painted because of this projected. Okay, let's keep move on. Remember this bone we paint with always, but you've seen that whenever I paint, it keep reducing the weights of this. That is the meaning of using with this auto normalize. It always subtract whenever you paint or adds whenever you subtract from other side. Okay, I'll select this bone and I'll add there. You see, this happened for this. Let me see this bone. You see, we already subtracted with 2 bones. That's the way of using auto normalize. Okay. I can select this bone here. Sorry, I'll select this bone and I want to paint this. So keep painting roughly, and I select this bone and try to paint off. So you'll see, whenever I select this bone here, it keeps subtracting the parts that we are not allowed to have weights. Okay. Let me select this bone and try to paint. And you see, when I select this bone, it's automatically move the weights of this part here because of auto normalize. Okay, let's keep doing that. Okay, our tail, because it's very close to the body mesh, there is a couple of ways I use to control the weights group for weights. I'll go to the edit mode. And I used to use it with the help of loop. I'll select the one loop here, this loop, and a control plus add the faces of this out of this. I want this weight to have a full weight. You can see that when we use it with edit mode, we can set also the weights group. But this group see that we have on the neck. So I will go back to the weight painting there. You see that it's on a neck. So we need to change to this tail there. And I'll go there to the edit mode. We'll go for a tail and we'll assign all this weight there. You can see how I'll trickily use this. And when I do that, I may rotate this so that I can give a distance to work on this parts over there. And I'll paint this. I'll paint this. I need to keep a tail there. And I'll select this and paint this to there. Maybe this, I'll add 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 to there. So, like we used to clean up the weights. For this, we just only assign the weights, and then we go back and cleaning and polishing the weights. Okay, this is my way of doing this. Okay, so far, let's go to the area which is complex. Before go there, I think here we can do something else. We can assign weight for this. See, and select this and add the weights. Because we are on projected mode, that means it will project to the other side there. So, and whenever you paint, just go to see the other side. That's the principle. Okay, for this side here, we'll keep reducing the weight. That's the way where mixing come. Whenever you paint with 0.2, it will remain 0.2. That's the meaning of using this type of mixing tools. But when you use an ADI, when you add 2.2, you keep adding and adding. Has no limitation of the weights. But when you're using a mixing, you can always add what you are suggested. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I'll keep remove the weights and add the weights. A bit of a transitional. I may select shift in there. Transfer this. We'll fix that later. Okay, we'll fix that later. Okay, I want to work now on hard places, because you see that's for this mesh, we need to go inside and out of the mesh for painting. Okay, so in order to paint to the one side, not pass through other side, we need to change from projection to sphere. Okay, so whenever I select this one side there, I'll paint this side here. When I select this, I'll paint this side here, and I can increase the weights here to 1. I want to have maximum influence on this bone here. You see? That's my trick here. And I'll try to go back to the back side and paint again. Okay, I will go inside of that mesh. I'll always zoom. Okay, I can add this weight there. Want this to control this part there. You see? That's the using of sphere. That is not sub. It will not pass through. When it will be in a projection, when I paint this, you can see. Let me change it and try to show you. When I project with this bone here, maybe you can see it passed to other side. That is not what we want. So we need to have controls how much weight with this sphere. Okay. I'll select this bone here and use the sphere for the projection. And we'll paint this for this side. Okay. Okay, see that. From here to this on here. So I'll go inside as we did and try to add some weights there. Okay, you see? I can go to this bone here and add some weight there. Okay, I'll go back and add some weights there. Okay, so this toe, this foot there. I'll try to add some weight there. You see? Okay, you can see I might select this IK and try to move. You see we paint some words. So I might take this one and try to fix some weights maybe. You see here, there is one to break, so I can add the weights nicely. Here I can smooth out our transition between the two bones. Okay, we're pretty nice later, but I was trying to show you what we succeed doing. Okay, let's go to the other side. I press Ctrl 3 for this side, for left of a graphic. So I will select this one, make sure that's we're in a sphere. You don't want to project. I can add the weights here. Let's select this. Okay, this way we are not add the weights. So at least we might add the weight too. So I'll select this. You pass to this side there. You see? And for this, for here I can move with the control, but it's okay. So I select this. We can add the weights there. Not bad. For this we can control and add the weights. Not bad. Okay, I'll keep adding this. You see, whenever you do this, it will subtract. And for this, we're gonna fix this. Because we have three bones. You see, we have three bones, which share some weights here. With the use of this auto-normalize, I need to have a transitional where these tools come with this blur. So I will blur out this, you see, for our transitional weight. That's very important to doing this stuff. Okay, between the bones, you need to have a gradual transition. Okay, so transfer this. That's to have a clean weight. Like this, I will have a gradual there. But because we are not projected this, we need to go to other side of the projection. See? Okay, even for this bone, see, we need to have a transition of the weights. So make sure that whenever you do this, you're trying to have a transition between two bones. When meet, need to have a transition weights. Okay, you see, it started with this bone here, but you see that we already removed the weights. We already removed the weights for these other parts. We need to go and keep doing till we remain with one side of the weights there. So not far from good. Let's keep doing it. Okay. For this leg we are through. Let's go to this side of the leg. So I'll select this bone here. We are on a sphere, not on projection. We need to go to the draw and add the weights. Okay. You can add the weights like this. Okay, see? I need to go inside that mesh and draw the weights of that guy. This is my way of doing this. Okay, if you have your ways good than this, okay, let's share down there in our comment section. Okay, as I said, between two bones there, when they meet, we need to have a transition weight. So I will bar this out. This is my way of doing this stuff. Okay, I'll keep blurring this, blurring this. Okay, you see this. We keep remove the weights that we added for our both controls there. So you see. Okay, for this bone, I think you might need to add some waste. Yeah, we keep to add this weight. Yes, I need to keep the add no waste to this part there. Okay, so here we can use these blur techniques. I think that's paid. Okay, let's keep doing some stuff. Here we already add the weights. We are going back to this side. Let's add the weights for this mid leg. So I'll select this. Make sure that we uncheck this weight. We are not want here. Go for control 3. Since that our mesh is not very symmetrical, that's why. But for our rigging, we keep symmetry. For our bones, that means that they are apart a bit from that mesh. That's why it will keep us. Look at the bones are not aligned well to the body mesh because we symmetrize one symmetrical mesh. Okay, we keep doing this, adding some weights for the articulation, the body articulation. Okay, I think that's nice. So for this side, we will blur out so that they can mix nicely with the weight of that bone, top bone of this bone here. So we have the transition. So we need to have a transition in this junction of bones. Make sure that you look in both sides. Okay, I might select this bone here and try doing some weights. So I'll keep a weights. Put some weights. Pull up weights. Do that. And I will select. Sorry, let's keep the weights. Come on top, on front. Keep the weights. Okay. And I might select this and try to blur out for this area where junction of the bones, so they can have a transitional weights, so the weights might mix well and the blending good. So I'm gonna select this foot bone there and add some weight there. And I'll blur out this thing. I'll blur out this. Okay. After doing this, you come and blur out this weight to have a transitional weights. That's very important. So you see, when I select those bone, we already remove some weights, and we try to fix. As you see this, we left with a little bits of weights here. It means that we needed to paint more weights here, so as it can be removed there. That is the meaning of using that, to put all weights to one bones and then try to reduce the weights. That is our techniques for our nice weights. This is the way of my doing, to make sure that you paint weight to each bones there nicely. So this we'll use as a reference to remove the weights or to add weights. You see, there's a couple of weights there. That's it. We remove the problem for our mesh when we try to remove weights. So we can add it and blur out. This is my way of doing. Okay. For this I can move weights this, but this is similar to have a weights, and I might select this too and add a weight there, and I might select this and try to see. Okay, there's a couple of weights here. So for this bone I need to make sure that it's 100% weights out. That's the meaning of using this reference. So since that's here, we have a couple of weights left behind. So I select this and try to add the weights. That's my techniques of doing. I use the filling weight as my guide. So it seems here we have a couple of weights here we need to remove or to add to this bone here. So I select this and try to see through. You see, I need to add this weight here. Maybe I can keep using the weight whenever I add this. This will share weights there to this bone here. So I need to make sure that you're not leaving the weights behind. See? Okay. Then select this too. Okay. And then I'll blur out this. I'll select this and blur out this. Okay, let me try to see through. There's a couple of weights, but it's filled a little bit. I think it will not affect too much. Maybe I can select this and try to add some weights there. Sorry, we need to have a full weights. Okay. Okay, need to add weights. Seems that we are too far from perfect. Okay. Keep adding those weights. Yeah. Okay, this is here transition of these weights, and I can remove these weights. Sorry, I can count to brush and remove these weights there. That's not principle. We need to have a clean. You see this? Still have these weights here. So to remove this weights here, parts over here, we need to add the weights to this bone there. So I'll select this bone here and try to add the weights. And I select the bone there Try to add the legs. And select the bone here, try to add the width. And I select the bone there. There. And remove these weights here. You see? Try to add the weights there. And try to remove this weight there. Even this we need to remove this weight. That's the meaning of using different techniques. Okay, remove this weight here. I'll select this bone. There's a couple of things we need to correct. For this bone, we need to add some weights too. See? And then we'll blow out this weight. Okay, I'll keep tracking and see. So I think for back leg and front leg isn't bad, so I think we'll continue from the front for the front leg. So let's keep doing this. Okay, I'll select this and go to the add mode. We'll add a weight there. Need to add the weight there. I'll look to each sides, both sides. Try to look to both sides. For this side it's okay. I go for the front side. I think it's good to end with this. Something of that kind. Let me go inside this. Try to rotate this. Cause we are not in projection. So that's with me. Make sure that's our weight. Will not pass through other side of the mesh. Okay. Okay, for that front leg I think it's good. I go to this shoulder and we try to add the weight there. Okay, keep painting to this side there. I might select this perfectly to this side here, to the end of this. Want to have the weights to this side there. But not for this will subtract. We'll add value. We add this will subtract the parts there. So you may see. For here we need to project because we need to see through, pass through to the other side there. Okay, between bones we use a blur for our transitional of the weights. we need to project this transitional gradient. Okay, I'm going to select this one, try to blur out, and to this side. And I select this bone here, and check to sphere, and we go to, for this bone, I need to add the weight. So we change to sphere, we don't want to project. I want to pass one bone there only, not pass through other side. I want to pass here for this mesh here, not the other side. See, that's the meaning of projected with the selection of sphere. That's the difference. When you project, it will pass through the mesh. But when you do in a sphere, it will show in the face that we are fronting. So select this and try to add the weights nicely. Okay, make sure that's happiness. So for here, we'll use a transitional blur for blurring. We need to have a transitional weights between this junction. So we'll blur out, and this will blur out there. Okay. So let's try to check this. We will keep reducing the weights there. We are not bad. Okay, when I select this, okay, when you select this, then select this. Okay, it seems that we left the weights so far. I need to project this. I need to project because I want to pass through this weight. So maybe for here now, I can do transitional weights now. Because yeah, something back. See, when I select this one, we remain with the little weights here. That means for here, I might select this bone and try to add the weight, much weight, anything there. For this bone, I'll keep adding the weights, maybe, through this there. Okay, you see, and there, and there. Oh, sorry. We need to have some projection there. That's too bad. Okay. I don't want to use the projection for this. I keep forgetting it. Projection is too bad for these types. Okay, let's do some cleaning there. And then black piece. I'll keep remove the weights there. See, there is a couple of weight there. I need to clean it. So this, nice. Maybe we'll use transitional bar to blur out this. We can select this bone and try to add the weights there. So I select this in a sphere projection and add the weights to that. And this bone, we need to add the weights also to this area here. I need to have an influence all the weights to that. So keep painting till I'm satisfied with my area way of working. Okay, maybe to that. So I'll go through, try to add some weights in place. Influencing this ball. see, as I did for this side of the leg, to come over there and add the weights, and I'll make sure that's gonna go inside that mesh, and I'll keep add the weights there. You see, I will not worry about where. I'll keep remove here, so no worry. Okay, I'll keep planning this for transition weights. You see, keep for transition. So have a clean and transition legs. Sorry, keep adding here. Wait. So I'll go for this leg and add a weight there. Keep adding the weights. Keep add the weights. How we keep add the weights? Okay. Add the weights. Rotate the mesh and add the weights. So for here we'll use a blur. I will transition blur here. I will transition blur for this junction. I usually call the transition blur because we have a couple of gradients of blurring weights. That's why I call it transitional blur. I think that will make up to me. Okay, I'll add the weight here. Let's say it is as it is. So I'll add the weights there. Okay, can blur out this out. Okay, I think that we are going good. Maybe here we can have a transition. So I'll blur out this. Maybe we can blur out this. I always try to make clean it. So you see that for this side we have a couple of things to need to clean. That's it will show us. It show to us the area maybe we're gonna have problems, but I think it's not too bad for our mesh to work good. So for this, I'll remove these weights here. So not blurring. Yeah, going to remove this weight there. So this way, we need to remove all the weights. So to have a clean, we need to remove weights. So that's we go to subtract. I think that's subtracting the best way of removing the weights. So I'll keep removing the weights. So I need to have a couple clean mesh. Okay. Okay, remove this. There is area that is not supported with the remove weights. I don't know why. Let's try to track it. Okay, for this bone. So I'll remove this. Sorry. This bone here. I'll remove this weight here. Up here. And here. I'll remove the weight there. I think removing. So I might blur this out. But remember, when you blur out with this projection mode, it will take the weight to the projection to the other side. That's not what we wanted. So make sure that you remember to do some good stuff. Okay, for this, I want to remove this weight there. I don't want it. Okay, I can blur out this. Okay, I can remove the weights there. I don't want to have the weights on this. Okay, let's maybe add this so that it can move along with this head. And I can project this and change from subtract. Let's go to the next. I want to mix with this. Okay, to go with this. Okay, let me select this. Seeing that we have a nice knot. Are we good with moving this or moving with this? Okay, let's try to add there. Okay, so far so good. I think it's good now. I think we're through with waist painting. Maybe for one thing for sure, maybe we want to fix the errors later. So I may select this part mesh and go this with the poses and try to see how it reacts with your weights. It seems so good. Okay, let me remove the overlays. You see guys, this is what we wanted to create, but it seems that when we push through, we have some weights there down we need to fix. So I'll select the overlays and try to fix the broken parts. That's always happens with things. So we need to push your mesh to the extremes and try to look to the errors. So I'll select this bone. Let's see. How we gonna fix this? I'll select this bone there. Press G. Try to rotate this through. And I'll select this bone there. You see, we have not have a clean mesh. That's why it's broke up. So we need this to add a weight here. Sorry. I need to see through nicely. I need to add the weights there. That's why it's broke there. So you need to push your mesh to the extremes so you can see the errors and try to fix. That's the way of weight paintings. Okay. You keep see and fix. Keep see and fix. Okay. Okay, move the overlays. Maybe for this leg, I see there's maybe a couple of issues to this part of the leg. So, as we did, we go there to overlays and allow this by selection of this pattern to this mesh and go full weight paintings. We'll try to fix the errors. So I might select this bone here. You see? So here we need to have a nice transition there. Okay. You see? For this side there. So I'll select the leg IK and just to stretch out there and try to see this through. Okay, for this side it's okay, but for this side there's a couple of issues we need to fix. Fix by adding the weights there. Sorry. Add the weight there. And we'll blur out this. Sorry. And we'll have to transition of that. Okay. I think that's good. Okay. I might select this. Press G. Try to look through. But remember that we have a pole IK. So you can select this pole. Try to rotate nicely. Try to see it through. Okay, let's go to the object mode and remove the overlays. Okay, let me select the overlays and try to select this bone and go to the pose mode. I might select these bones and move through this. Okay, this is what we created. Okay, this is what we have created for the weights. Okay, let me remove the materials. You see here, we have some errors there for the weights. You keep fixing. Okay, first select the bones, last select the mesh. Go to the weight paintings there. Let me select this. You see this? We have a bad transition here. So I need to fix by adding this transition area, but make sure that is not projected. Okay, nicely. So as you push your mesh to the limits, to the extremes, we're gonna see some error and try to fix that. This is the very techniques we are using for this stuff. Okay, see, as I select this, we have some weights here, so we need to remove those weights here. So I'll keep removing the weights. Okay, I might blur this out. We'll keep doing that till we are satisfied with your results. Okay, maybe I can add this weight here. I'm trying to fix this. Don't worry about these minor errors. You're gonna fix that. That's why you are doing 3D. 3D is a hard work, and always will have a hard work, is it? Let me add some wasabi there. Okay, maybe I'm satisfied with the results. Okay, I go for the select the bad mesh, select this lastly, and go for the pose. Let's go for the pose. Let's go for the pose. Okay, let me do this. This is my extremist. And I want to select the object mode selection. And I might select first the bones. Let's select the body mesh. Let's go for the wave rings. I might select this bone there. First select our armature. Let's select our body. And let's go for the weight bendings. Try to fix this. We have here, we need to have a transitional. Let's follow. Okay, maybe I can select this and I fall through there. So I might select this here. This here. Here. Maybe I can fix this by smoothing. Maybe I can add a transition there. Okay, we'll keep doing that till you are satisfied, man. You see, as we do, you find some errors. You will fix that error. Yes, cover clean mesh. Okay, we'll keep cleaning this stuff. See, I need to have a transition always here. Sorry. Okay, for me, I think we are done with the skinning or weight bendings. So you see this. I'm gonna select those bones. I'm gonna select this to this one and go to the pose mode and select this one and try to see through. Okay, I think that we are good, man. I'm gonna select all bones without the G, without order, for clear transformations and rotation. Okay guys, let's end this particular junction and wait for part 3 where we'll create a custom shape of this body for nice and clean animation. So don't forget to like and comment. Ciao.